Hello, today is October 21st. I know it says the 19th. We are learning about slope-intercept form. On this first slide here, I want you to find the slope. Remember that you go change in y, minus 3, minus 3, minus 3. So change in y, negative 3 over change in x, plus 4, plus 4, plus 4. Your slope is negative 3 over 4. You're going to do the same thing over here for number 24. Change in y from 8 to 1, 1 to negative 6, negative 6 to negative 13. This was a pear deck, but you will not be doing a pear deck if you are going to do this just in your notebook. Change in y over change in x. On the second slide here, you're going to take the linear equation y equals 2x minus 6. You're going to replace it in here, and you're going to use smart values, negative 1, 0, and 1. You will find your y values when you plug in the negative 1 into the equation for x. You'll get your y value, create a coordinate point or an ordered pair, x and y. Remember, use the smart values, negative 1, 0, and 1. On this slide, I had students graph it, so you could just graph this in your comp book. This next slide is the success criteria of our learning target. We will use the slope and y-intercept to write and graph linear equations. Number 1, graph and write an equation in slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. Remember that equation. Step 2, identify the y-intercept and plot it. Step 3, from that y-intercept, use the slope to identify a second point on your line. Remember that slope is rise over run, change in y over change in x. Here is vocabulary, what slope-intercept form is and what it represents. So in the equation y equals mx plus b, m in green represents your slope, b represents your y-intercept. Here is an example of what the y-intercept looks like. It's where your graph line will cross right here at the y-axis. You can see the little y above here. This is representing the y-axis. Hence, that's called the y-intercept. On this slide, I want you to tell me what these two ordered pairs are. Write them in your comp book. From those 2 points, if you see me pointing with this little pointer, you could see that from left to right, we're going to be going uphill. So this is a positive slope. Remember that you're going to start at this point and you're going to tell me how many do you go up before you make a right turn at 90 degrees and head to the second point. That will be your slope. Your slope is, it will look like a fraction. The new concept that you're learning is where does the graph cross the y-axis, hence the y-intercept. You got to tell me what is this number right here on the y-axis and write it down in your comp book. From there, you'll take your slope and your y-intercept. You'll replace it in the m and you'll replace it in the b, and you'll have y equals some number, m, your slope, x, plus where is the place that the line is crossing the y-axis. Here you're going to practice some more of those. Find your slope, find your y-intercept, and from those graphs, and then write an equation in slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. Here you're going to take those skills and see if you can match. Number 1 belongs to which one, A, B, or C? Here is where we're going to graph using just the slope and the y-intercept. I know we have been using smart values on tables to graph, but now we're just going to use the slope and the y-intercept. I'll attach a video right here on slide 10 so you guys have a reference for that. On this one, you're going to practice it. You're going to find the y-intercept and slope and then graph them. Same thing, using your slope and y-intercept graph. This was a pear deck. I wanted to see what you knew. 18, 19, and 20, same thing, pair deck. I wanted to see if you could graph just using the slope and the y-intercept. No tables. And then it leads on to grading your homework. Each problem is worth 2 points. Number 9 is 2, 4, and 6. This is your homework, page 170 as well. So it's like your weekly assignments and your weekly grading. And then on this one, you have that assignment that's right here that you could see on the previous slide is your grading. Make sure you show your work, and then you'll have a worksheet 4.4 practice A. All right. Again, remember your learning target. You're going to use a slope and y-intercept to graph linear equations in slope-intercept form.